Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to The Sims. Welcome back to another speed build. This is technically a part 2. This is the second of the stilt houses, the kind of coastal houses that we were building in Sulani from last week. This is like the second sister. They're not quite twins, they're sisters, and I really like this one. Having said that, there is a first part where you will see the house on the lot to the left. That is already built, and that is already up on the channel. You don't have to watch these in order, so you can go check out this one after, or that one after this one. But there is technically a part 1. It is actually a 2-part series. It's 2 separate houses. They don't really interact, but they're built on the same lot because I wanted to use 4 rent features. Like, there's 2 separate families that are gonna live here, so that's why it's a 2-parter, because it's the same lot and like the outside spaces are shared, and like reasonably probably the like stilt areas are gonna be shared, even though I'm gonna mark them not. They kind of are. So that's why it's a part 2, but you don't have to watch them in order. So go check out the first part, but after the second part. Have I confused you yet? I've confused me. I'm gonna warn you, I'm having one of those kind of days. I am all over the place, dude. And I probably shouldn't be recording on it like this, but also, like, your girl's got a schedule. So, unfortunately, you're just getting, like, a little bit crazy, Amanda. But I had actually a fantastically productive day, and I think that's a little bit part of why I'm, like, a little bit amped. It's also 10 p.m., so I'm, like, ready to go crash. I'm an early bird. I'm, like, ready to go crash, but I was like, I need to record this voiceover because I'm on a little bit of PTO around the holidays. You guys aren't going to see this for, I think, actually maybe a week, but I'm recording this December 30th. So I'm still a little bit on that holiday high too, but so I got this morning and I did a whole bunch of house cleaning. My house is like all sorts of cleaned up and nice, which is lovely. Did a whole bunch of organizing, did a whole bunch of putting things away and stuff. It was great. But I also had to have 2 different roofers out to get some estimates because my roof was leaking. Good news, fantastical news. Sounds like it's not that big a deal. And one of the roofers was like, if you are brave, you can just climb up there and fix it yourself. And it turns out I'm brave. So I might go fix it myself. But I had tradespeople in my house and stuff. And I don't have a problem with that in any way, except for I've unfortunately had the unfortunate experience of having some unpleasant experiences with tradespeople in my house. So I always get like a little bit extra nervous, and it creates that sort of amped up energy too. These guys were all lovely. Both roofing companies, the guys that came out, were fantastical. Very polite, very respectful. There was no upsell. I was really happy, and I was really excited to have that experience because the last tradespeople I had in my house caught my house on fire, and I'm not joking. So, this was a much better experience. Going back to the build for a minute here, this build I actually built, I think, before Thanksgiving. So some of this is going to be a surprise to me as much as it's going to be a surprise to you. Although, I'm trying to think, do I remember all of it? I don't remember what I did in the second bedroom. I do remember what I did in the second bedroom. Ooh, and I'm excited to show it to you. Okay. Never mind. I remember what we did. I was trying to remember. I was like, I don't remember making a kid's room in this house. It's because I didn't. This house, though, I believe the interior was shortly after the Cozy Kitsch kit came out, because you will notice it everywhere. I got very excited to use it. I think this was the first build where, like, the Cozy Kitsch kit reasonably fit the aesthetic, or I guess more appropriately said, the Cozy Kitsch kit became the aesthetic because it didn't have like a strong, the exterior or the story didn't demand a certain aesthetic, I would say. So this house ends up being really interesting inside. It's definitely kind of different than I normally do, but I really like it. It feels very Sims to me. And by that, I mean, there are things that I do in a Sims build that I wouldn't actually do in real life. Like, this house turns out really cool. I really like it. Would I live here? Probably not. I think the color palette I chose in the long term might actually stress me out a little bit. It's very bright and colorful. I like it a lot. You'll see inside. I do. The outside of this house, adorable. I dig it. I love it. Mint green, big fan. It's funny, I haven't actually, I don't think, done a little yellow house in a while, and my favorite paint color on a house is yellow. I love a little yellow house with white trim, and I might be biased because I live in a little yellow house with white trim, and I adore it. But you can see here, you can already start to see some of the style differences, where I really wanted to make it clear that these houses were built together at the same time, but they are not twins. They are sisters, and they have 2 different owners who love the house like a lot and have put a lot of time and effort into the house, and they have turned out very differently. I kind of almost love the idea of an odds couple situation, but I didn't design them specifically like that. The one, the first part house, which you absolutely should go watch, is definitely done in a little bit more of a traditional coastal style. And then there's this, which I don't know how to describe other than it was a lot of fun to put together. We've gotten a lot of really great build items recently. Kits, I'm still like a little bit jury's out on kits as a concept. And I'm honestly still a little bit jury's out on the collaboration kits as a concept. I love the idea of creators in our community getting a chance to build something that's going to be in the game and going to be available to console players and going to be available without mods. That part is brilliant. The part that scares me is the monetization. And I feel like I don't know enough about it, and that's on me to go educate myself, but I feel like I don't know enough about it to feel comfy. Because look, let's be real here. I love this game. The company that makes this game not always made fantastical choices. Not always made choices that, let's just say that, like, sometimes I read about what EA is doing and I go, okay, you know? So, in that regard, these things kind of make me a little bit nervous. But the Cozy Kitsch kit is absolutely, if you're thinking like, man, I wish I could just get some new content for like a $5. I think it's a little bit more in other countries. I'm sorry about that. And it's a little bit less if you have like discounts and things. It really depends. But if you're looking to drop around $5 US, the Cozy Kitsch kit is one that I think you would get a lot of mileage out of. I think you would get a ton of mileage out of it because it's like, I was gonna say for me, it fits very much my aesthetic, which it does. But also, I think it's just got a lot of really good base pieces in really good base colors that fit really nicely with the base game, but also just fit really nicely with other packs and things. So I think it's a worthwhile investment. Y'all, I spent forever in this kitchen because for some reason I chose red cabinets. And let me be so clear, I stand by this. I think this kitchen turns out really cool. I'm really proud of this. You can tell how proud I am of a build by how many screenshots are at the end. There's a million. I'm so sorry. Strongly suggest you grab a cup of tea for this one. Pause. Go get a tea. Come back. I'll wait. Did you get a warm beverage? It doesn't have to be tea. You could go get coffee. You could even have a soda if it's warm where you are. I'll wait. Okay, great. I'm glad you got your drink. I'm actually out of tea now, which is unfortunate. But I do have a water because I'm being good. I'm trying to drink my water. So we're good to go here. Anyways, I fought for forever with this kitchen because I didn't know what I needed. I was like, this swatch of tile, I was like, it's almost perfect, but then there's colors, and I didn't really want to go with the dark woods, and then I did, then I was like, well, brass, and then it was feeling very 70s, and then I was like, do I want to own the 70s? And then halfway through, I was like, do I even want to do the red kitchen? And then I was like, well, I was really hoping for more orange, but this is definitely reading more red. There was a lot of tiles that worked in here that all would have taken this kitchen in vastly different directions. I think I stand by what I picked. But this is also a concept I want to explore more. Because the thing is I really wanted to do, I kind of got stuck on these red cabinets because I don't use red super often. I don't actually love red as a color, I know. It's a good color. And red has a lot of beautiful swatches, but red is also a very loud, very intense, very opinionated color. And it's just not my favorite. Growing up, red was always my brother's favorite color. I think it might still be. He loves a good red color, and that's so great for him. And I'm just not that person. I never have been. And people always go, oh, well, you must be blue. And I love blue, but blue is not always my fave. I think I'm a yellow person, or maybe green, but I think I'm a yellow person. I love yellow. But I don't think I actually have a favorite color, to be honest with you, because it really depends on the context. Because, like, on a spring day, green is my favorite color. In the middle of summer, harvest wheat color, yellow, my favorite color. In the middle of winter, love a good blue. It really depends on the context. So I'm one of those, like, stuck-up, snobby, pretentious people. It depends. I don't know if I have a favorite color. Ask me on any given day and I'll give you a different answer. But I then, after I kind of landed on those tiles, which those tiles I believe are from, they're either Seasons. I think they're Seasons tiles. I was gonna say they're either Seasons or Cats or Dogs. I think they're Seasons tiles. Yeah, I'm like reasonably certain they're Seasons tiles. Those tiles ended up kind of informing the rest of the pattern. or the rest of the palette, I should say. So I ended up going with browns, beiges, reds, and blues quite a bit. And then some of the stuff from this Cozy Kitsch kit ended up kind of adding some colors, because like the blues ended up coming in with some pinks, and I was like, oh well, I can occasionally do like some pinks. Kind of like I sort of let the packs dictate a little bit where we ended up. But I was really worried because I was like, it's gonna feel super patriotic in here. And I not too long ago did a build where it ended up being kind of that Americana navy and like almost rust red, and I was like, am I gonna end up doing that again? And I don't think it reads that way. I don't think it reads that way in this house as much as I was worried it was going to. I think you can definitely walk in and you're like, oh, you went with red and blue. That's interesting. But I also don't think that would bug as many people as it does me, because I don't know how many people like really associate red and blue with like the American flag like I do. Like I know red, white, and blue, obviously everyone starts going, but there's a lot of flags that are like that. I think that's a very American thing to be like, oh, it's Americana. Now there is a style that I feel like is very Americana. Like there's a specific sort of like Pottery Barn, my goodness, losing my mind, Pottery Barn catalog vibe that can be very Americana. This isn't that though. This doesn't feel like that. This feels very sort of like mid-mod, which was kind of the intention, but this doesn't feel like super like in your face red, white, and blue, which is nice. Lots of tans, lots of browns. Fussed around with the pillows for a while, trying to bring in more of those warm sort of neutral colors here. I'm really trying to pull in the kitchen, that very bright kitchen. I'm also just now noticing the tile is wrong behind the fridge. I don't remember if I fixed that, but I will fix that before it goes up on the gallery. I will course correct. This couch already comes with a lot of really pretty pillows, and in this particular swatch they're very neutral, which was nice, so I went ahead and just added about a bazillion more pillows. And I know that feels like a lot of pillows, and you know what, it is a ton of extra pillows, maybe too many pillows for the normal human, but I struggle with a pillow addiction, and if you think I'm joking, I have 3 on the floor behind me, plus one of those chair pillow things. Then I have 4 on the floor to my left, plus a plushy TNT block. I have like 12-ish on my bed right now, which sounds like a lot. Some of them are small, but it's a lot. And I have somewhere in the vein of like 8 stuffed Pokemon, which are not specifically pillows, but they're sort of pillow adjacent. So, and then I have one behind me on the chair I'm sitting in. Are there any other pillows in this room? Well, there's a dog bed, but I don't think that counts. Regardless, the point I'm making is I have a pillow problem. I love pillows. I love that they make everything seem cozier and comfier. And especially in The Sims, in my opinion, we have so many great couches that I can use now. Because the problem I had with The Sims for a long time is they would give us these really intense looking couches. Like the base game couch that got those really cute recolors not too terribly long ago. Not the one you're thinking of, but the other one, the really square one. That's like by far probably the most usable couch in the base game. But it's also like kind of looks like it would hurt to sit on, right? And it's like, well, that's not great. But you put some pillows on it and suddenly you're like, okay. It's chilling. It's starting to get cozy. Now I need them to give us some sort of like throw to go over the top. I have no idea how they do that. The best thing I can figure is they would have to make it a solid piece that doesn't affect the use of the couch. So it'd have to have like no clipping, but it'd have to be solid because you couldn't like drape it because the backs are all different of the couches. So you'd have to somehow figure out how to make it look almost have to hang, I guess, like a ghost in a way, or like it looked like the fabric was touching no matter what kind of back it was. I'm not explaining this really well. I'm not sure. I don't know if it's feasible is what I'm saying to make some sort of throw that would work sort of universally with their couches. And maybe it doesn't need to. Maybe it just needs to work with some of the base game ones and whatever pack it comes with. But that would be great. I would love a throw. Please and thank you. I believe there's some really great modded ones out there. I should go look at how they do those because I bet the Sims creators, man, are some of like the most creative humans out there. I swear. It's like some of these, especially like CC creators, dude, they like, someone needs to hire them to just design things in real life, because sometimes I see stuff in these CC packs and I'm like, I want that in my real life house, dude. They're so pretty. And like with this pack, that like literally that table, I'm like, that would look so great in my living room right now. That's in the game. I'm not gonna be able to find that in real life, but it's like, and I like, I feel like it would be weird to like take a picture of it, like a screenshot, and like walk into like an Ashley furniture and be like, do you have this? Maybe not. What do I know? So we're just about finished with the living room. This is a different layout than in the other stilt house. I ended up swapping the dining room and the living room, and I had an experience in it because it does make the living room feel a little bit smaller, but I don't know if it is. I think it just feels a little bit smaller. So I would suggest, if you haven't watched the first one already, go back and watch, and then like let me know which layout you like better, because this one feels more cozy. Like it makes the living room feel cozier, but it also sort of feels like maybe it's smaller. I don't know. It also makes the dining room in here feel really big, but also you're not walking into your living space, which is nice because it means like your fabrics, when you're coming in from like the beach, have more of a chance. There is a full bathroom on this level, so that theoretically you're not tracking sand all the way through the house, a problem no sim has ever had, but humans often have. So there is a full bath on this floor and a full bath on the upper floor. There's 2 full baths. The upstairs bathroom is kind of weird and long in the layout. I couldn't correct it in the other one either. I don't know what the plan should have been there. It's just like an awkwardly sized bathroom, but it's fine. It kind of feels okay because it's 1 bathroom for 2 bedrooms, so it kind of feels like it can be a little bit more extravagant. This one's a little bit smaller, but again, the whole point of this one was, do you want to be tracking sand through your house? I don't want to be tracking sand through my house. I don't live by the beach. Is there a beach near me? No, there's no lake beaches near me. So every once in a while I say something and I go, I haven't lived here long enough to know if that's definitively true. There's no beaches near me. There are sand dunes, but I've not been out to them in a very long time. What I was going to say though is I live on a farm, so I don't track sand in, I track mud in. And mud turns into dirt when it dries, and the dirt that we have out here is very sandy in places and very clayey in other places, which is great because you mix those and they basically turn into concrete. But anyways, I digress. What I end up with is dirt in all of my fabrics, and it's definitely fun, and I definitely am not complaining about it like a ton because ugh. We also have these really nasty things called goat head, and it's like this ground cover stuff. It's really pretty. It is a gorgeous lush ground cover of the devil, because it is this spindly, it's a very tiny little plant that comes out of the ground, but it can grow under the ground like several acres. So if your neighbor has goat head, you have goat head. If your neighbor's neighbor has goat head, you have goat head. But it pops up in this one little place, this one little like central thing, and it grows these little viney tendrils that can again go acres if you let them. And on these things, they grow these little like seed ball things, and they have freaking centimeter long thorns on them, and they splinter, and the ends of the little thorns have barbs, and they're evil, and they get stuck in your carpet, and you try to go get water in the middle of the night because you forgot to fill up your water bottle, and you walk out barefoot because it's your home and you should be safe to do so, and you find a goat head, and that sucker is stuck in the bottom of your foot, and you're hopping around trying to be quiet because everyone else in your house is asleep, and it's miserable. Goat head are of the devil, and they're everywhere, and they're nasty because they get stuck in your shoes, they get stuck on the dogs, they get stuck in your pants, and they will go through the sole of a normal tennis shoe. It is ridiculous. These things are evil. They're so mean. How did we get here? I am so sorry. We're back in the kitchen. We're starting to do some of the detail work. Now that I've kind of worked out the palette, worked out what we're doing here, I'm starting to add things together. I love the way that when cabinet looks with all the little decor on it, I just feel like it's such a little magazine look there. Completely useless, right? Like, who puts little like tacks on their kitchen counter? I don't know about y'all, but I have actually a reasonable amount of counter space, and I still never feel like I have enough. Probably mostly because I have projects on my counter 90% of the time. I have like a peninsula and then like an island in the middle. I think originally my kitchen was probably closed off and someone knocked down a wall where the peninsula was. I think it's probably how that happened. Well, I actually know that. Having said that out loud, I know that would make sense because the kitchen was originally the end of the house, and the living room that's next to the kitchen now was an add-on in like the 90s or something. I don't know. I wasn't here. Regardless, the peninsula regularly turns into project space. Like, it regularly turns into project space. In fact, there's just like a permanent to-do list on the end of the peninsula. So like half the kitchen is not being used for kitchen, and then like there's a section of the island that is like the drop stuff you don't want to deal with after you come home from work section, which I don't love. I wish we didn't do that. But like, so then that's less cabinet space. So I end up with like a stupidly small amount of actual cooking space. And I don't know how that happens because I have a reasonable sized kitchen. Like a nice kitchen. I don't know, dude. I am convinced we create our own problems in this life. So we're starting to move upstairs here now that I've completely ignored this build for super long. And it's the exact same layout as last house, but flopped. But the rooms are used pretty much differently. The master is still a master because your sim needs a place to sleep. And obviously the bathroom is still a bathroom because for resale value, it's nice to have 2 bathrooms. She says as though that matters in The Sims. And this landing space, I once again tried to turn mostly into like a little just study space. It's kind of too big a landing to just be a landing, but it's kind of too small of a landing, in my opinion, to be like an office, you know? So it kind of lends itself to be like a study nook, like a book nook. Right, it kind of lends itself to have like this nice chair in this little space. In the other one, I believe I put big old bookshelves, I can't remember now. But in this one, I went a little bit more minimal. But like, this would also be a really nice place if you are, like, if this is a vacation home and you're coming with other people. In this particular case, I have one bedroom set up as a bedroom and the other room set up as an art studio. Spoilers. So I don't know if this sim would have this problem. But perhaps even you're with a spouse or something and your spouse is downstairs watching TV or cooking and you're just needing a little bit of a quieter space maybe. This would be a good place to come hang and you're not really like stuck in your bedroom. You're not really in your art studio trying to create or something. You're just sort of like chilling. This is a nice place to read the paper. And with the window being right there, you could also like watch your neighbor, I think. Okay, maybe that's a little creepy. Maybe abort. Maybe not that. Or is this on the other side of the house? I'm completely turned around now as to how they orient themselves. Maybe this is looking out towards the trees and it would be really fun to watch the foliage then. Went a little wild with the rug. I can't remember which one I picked, but I'm pretty sure I picked a pretty bold pattern because of the yellows and greens. Might be wrong here. But, well, yeah, it's pretty patterned. It's decently patterned. Went yellow and green up here, which I love, but would not have expected myself to pick. And especially with those items together, like that chair and stuff. I'm even watching this back, I'm like, wow, I was really having like a full, like not normal aesthetic me moment, and I really like it. I love when that happens in The Sims, when like you kind of find a vibe and it's not your normal vibe and you're like, this is going great, because it feels like you're growing a little bit as a builder. Because I definitely get in the bad habit of doing the same house over and over again because it's the kind of style I like, but I also love trying new styles, and it can be really like a little bit demoralizing when you try a new style and you can't get it at all and it's just out of your grasp in that moment. Like, I really want to try a brutalist build, like a pseudo brutalist build, but like that feels so out of reach, you know? That feels just like something I can't even fathom how to start that. So being able to do something that's a little bit out of your comfort zone is really fun. It's also why sometimes I build without turning the camera on, because then if it goes terribly wrong, I can just be like, no, thank you, bye. I'm not finishing this. The downside to this is I have a few builds where I'm like, oh, I really want to show this to the channel now, but I don't want to rebuild this because it took me 5 hours. Well, I don't really want to show the channel. And so, like, I'm not really sure how to handle that. I've been debating the merits of, like, bringing them up and then being like, let's do a run out on this. Because, like, so, like, one in particular I always think about is I did one of the big apartments in San Myshuno actually last Christmas, so over a year ago now, and I was just building like literally for fun, was listening to records, was in and out with my family, didn't have the recorder on. It was literally like the day after Christmas, and I had gotten a couple new Sims packs, so I was just building with those and stuff and having a good time, and it turned out fantastically in my humble opinion. And I was like, dang it, now I want to show this on the channel, but I don't really want to rebuild this because I literally sat for like 5 hours and did it. And I was talking to my brother the other day, and he was like, well, is there anything you would change about it? And I was like, probably. It's been a year, dude. A bunch of packs have come out. Like, my style has changed. He was like, so do a run out, dude. Like, just pull up the thing, show everybody, and then, like, show them what you would change. And I was like, that's actually genius. And now I'm kind of, like, really thinking about it. So if that video comes up in the next couple weeks, you know what happened. I think at the very least there's going to be 2 videos before that happens. Now I really want to do that. Am I about to stay up really late and do that? It's 10 p.m. where I am. And actually it's 10:30 exactly where I am now. How long have I been recording? It doesn't matter. Anyways. I'm starting to get a little bit tired. I need to go to bed. I should not stay up all night recording a video. But it would be really funny if I did. You're gonna see a quick cut to the artist studio space, but I can't find the rest of the footage for that. I'm really sorry about that. I really thought there was more footage of that, but it appears to have gotten lost somewhere in the edit. I hate when that happens. And then we're gonna go ahead and probably jump right back down to the bottom of the stilts area, which is very similar to the first build. It's sort of a mix of skill building items and storage. There's some like paint stuff down there, which you wouldn't actually want to do because of the salt water. And then some like just storage, storytelling stuff. Lots of room for skill building and stuff. But then we're gonna go ahead and jump to the screenshots, guys. And I think I'm gonna leave you here because I've been talking your ear off for a while. And I'm definitely in that kind of mood where I'll just keep talking your ear off. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. I hope you're having a good day and you're feeling loved. And if you're not feeling loved, please know I love you. I'm glad you exist. I'm glad you're here hanging out. You make the world a better place just by being you. And I was really excited to share this one with you. And I'm really excited for some of the stuff coming up. I think next might be a witch's cottage. I think I finally got it finished. You know, the one I started in like September. Shh, we don't talk about it. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye! Mwah.